With over 18 million passengers coming through Auckland International Airport every year, border staff have a huge job processing travellers and making sure they're here for legitimate reasons. Today, Immigration Officer James is monitoring passengers off an inbound Manila flight.
Hello, ma'am. Can I see your passport, please?
Sure.
How are you today? I'm from Immigration.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just this one.
Oh, great. You're a Filipino national?
Yeah.
Okay. You're on a visitor visa?
Yes, I'm on a visitor visa.
Okay. And what is your purpose of travel to New Zealand today?
Visiting the family that used to stay when I was studying.
All right, okay. So how long will you stay in New Zealand?
For about 6 months.
6 months?
I was here last July. I still have my car. I was trying to sell it.
All right, okay.
6 months is quite some time. James needs to know how the Filipino woman is going to support herself without working.
The reason why I stopped her was because she seemed to be a little bit aggressive towards the customs officer. She says that she's come back for a 6-month stay on a visitor visa, but she's been studying in New Zealand for about 3 years prior to that, and then she got a graduate work visa, which she completed, and now she's come back on her visitor visa for a 6-month stay, just to sell her car. Are there any other reasons why you've travelled to New Zealand besides selling your car and closing down your existing bank accounts?
Well, actually, for the last 3 years that I've been here, studying and working at the same time, I kind of enjoy the country.
Okay.
Instead of like staying in my own country, I've got no future there. I was advised, go back to school again, but I'm not yet sure if I really want to go back to school.
Okay.
That's why I applied for a visa.
James needs to run the story past colleague Stacey, who's now checking the woman's visa.
She has an invitation letter from a New Zealand citizen who's invited her to stay here for 6 months to celebrate various milestones in his life, and he's going to provide accommodation, meals and transportation during her stay here.
Okay, that's quite interesting, because she only told me that she's coming here to sell her car.
A simple way for James to check the veracity of the woman's story is to make a phone call to her New Zealand-based sponsor.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks. Thank you. So that phone call was quite enlightening, because apparently she's divorced and in a relationship with a New Zealand citizen, but she's told me that she's still currently married, and she's declared that in her visa application.
Next, James asks police to check their records about the car the Filipino woman claims she's here to sell.
Okay, that'll do, mate. That sounds awesome. Bye-bye. So there we have it. She sold her car to a guy named... She's got no car to sell.
Providing false information to border officials is an extremely serious offence.
There we go. Just take a seat for me, please. Thank you. When you submitted your visa application, quite recently, you also said that you needed to come back to New Zealand to sell your car and also sell your personal items, but you'd already sold your car when you applied for the visitor visa, so it looks like you've been lying to Immigration New Zealand.
What you're saying is true. What you say is true.
But the lies just keep on coming.
You are currently married to a South African man who lives in the Philippines with you and your son, and just your friend. Is that correct? He's told me that you are currently in a relationship with him, and that relationship has been for about 2 years. He has also stated that you both have discussed a future together as partners in New Zealand. If you had told the truth, then you may not have been in this predicament today. But the thing is, you lied to me and you also lied to the visa processing branch. So now your credibility is questionable.
Separate fact from fiction with a Filipino woman here on a 6-month visitor visa. She says she's here to sell a car that turns out to be sold. She doesn't have the funds to support herself, and a New Zealand sponsor has now told James a story at odds with hers.
So that phone call was quite enlightening, because apparently she's divorced and in a relationship with a New Zealand citizen.
Last but not least, she's lied on her visa application and to immigration.
You lied to me and you also lied to the visa processing branch. So now your credibility is questionable.
James undertakes a peer review with colleague Lata to determine what to do with this extraordinary Filipino.
So what this means basically is she's lied to me today at the border, and she's also lied in her visa application form. So I want to refuse her entry permission.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll go and deliver the decision and see how she takes that.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, it's not a favourable one for yourself. The decision is to refuse you entry permission and make you liable for turnaround back to the Philippines.
I'm sorry. I just want to see him, please.
In a final twist, the woman's sponsor turns out to be her boyfriend. The milestone they are to celebrate turns out to be far more complicated than James first thought.
Our relationship is basically, it's very pale. Okay, I have boyfriends. He knows that I have boyfriends. His parents know some of the guys that I've dated. But
Now, ma'am, I think you're digging yourself a bigger hole. Let's stop. So the passenger has been refused entry into New Zealand today. Her visitor visa has been cancelled and she's now liable for turnaround back to the Philippines. Multiple lies, multiple partners. We don't know what to believe at this stage, but it's enough for her to go back to the Philippines and she's the creator of her own misfortune today.
The Filipino woman returned on the next available flight to Manila.